Sup guys, and welcome back to Doctor Who Discussions. My name is Charlie.
And my name is Russell.
And today we are discussing Smile.
Bring me some smile.
Yeah, you do a far better impression than I do.
The Kappa.
For anybody who doesn't get the reference,
go to bigfinish.com and buy damaged goods now. It's great.
It's great. And it was written by RTD and is possibly the best thing he ever wrote.
Ooh, yeah, it's definitely up.
yeah, I said it. It is also completely irrelevant to the episode today, besides the terrible joke we start off every episode with.
Well, that we try to start off every episode with.
We start every episode with a terrible joke. That's the point.
Yeah. Anyway, so Smile by Frankie Cottrell Boyce. Whew, that was a worrying name, isn't it?
I know, right? Having said that,
it's vastly better than In the Forest of the Night.
Oh yeah. I just want to take this moment to say at the beginning, just get this out of the way. A human colony where people are killed horribly for being unhappy, and there's vague political satire. Did Frankie Cottrell Boyce see the Happiness Patrol and decide, I can do better? To be fair, he was right, because the Happiness Patrol was a very bad episode and this was not. But
yeah.
Just wanted to make that.
You can't help but not notice the power. Like I've not even I've not seen the story, but I know quite a lot about it.
Don't bother, honestly.
Yeah, it's very Marmite, which is ironic considering the Candyman. But
yeah, it seems to be. If you like the satire, you like the episode. If you don't like the satire, you don't like the episode. I understand the satire. I get the satire. I kind of appreciate it. I still think it's a rubbish episode.
Yeah, usually it ends up falling down to your opinion of Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, but I just think it's a really bad episode in general. It's just badly written, and the Candyman looks incredibly cheap.
I think it's fun to laugh at. We're talking about the wrong episode here.
I know,
we haven't
right?
actually said anything about Smile.
So you cut out for a second there, but I think you're back now.
Oh, sorry. So Smile, chiefly it's basically the Doctor and Bill for the majority of it, and I think it's a really good way of sort of getting the Doctor, fleshing out the Doctor-companion relationship a bit more here.
Wait a minute, didn't we say that about the last episode?
Yeah, this is sort of a theme with the first 3 episodes, I think, really, where like they spend the majority of it sort of fleshing out the Doctor and Bill's relationship. It does sort of take away from the plot at times in these first 3 episodes. It does help to establish Bill as a good companion at the very least. Whereas it sort of took a while for people to sort of get on board with Clara.
Yeah, and it was good. It was good to do it in this episode since it's a very interesting plot, but there's not enough plot to stretch over 45 minutes. Like when the humans turn up towards the end, it kind of goes downhill.
Yeah, I think everyone's collectively agreed on that. Like, whether they like the episode or not, it's like the last 10 minutes where the humans start waking up is just where it goes.
That's partially because every character in the story who gets more than about 5 lines, besides the Doctor and Bill, is an absolute asshole. But
yeah, complete and utter jerk. The biggest problem is like how quickly they just go from 0 to 100 on the whole "we've got to defend ourselves" thing.
It goes from "we've just woken up" to "homicidal maniacs" in about half a second.
I mean,
wait a minute, that sounds like my mother.
It's true.
I'm kidding.
It's true of the political climate, you could say. But,
shots fired.
I mean, geez, it's so easy to offend both sides these days. But
I did say it had vague.
The violent one.
I did say it had vague political satire in it.
Yeah, there was that moment, when Bill's looking through the footage and she's seeing all these riots. I'm thinking, is that just a potential future, or is that what's happening now, Frankie?
It could go either way.
I mean, I expect Doctor Who to sort of cover Donald Trump at some point this year, but
I would not be surprised. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Especially with Peter Harness on the writing staff, which, in spoilers, in his episode there was a joke about Trump, but it wasn't focused around him, unfortunately. It wasn't bad.
Does not seem like the kind of topic that Peter Harness would shy away from.
Yeah, considering how But
So
yeah,
you just cut out again there.
I said it. Peter Harness is known for being pretty heavy-handed with his stories.
Yeah, that's fair. We switched over to a voice call to avoid having technical difficulties. 2 episodes in, we're already plagued by technical difficulties. Lucifer farts in our faces yet again.
You're just reading the chat from the last time this screwed up.
Shh! Don't call me out like this.
But yeah, once the humans arrived, it just went. They just seem so irrational. Like, you know, the Doctor just gets up and has this big lecture, which, you know, they cut, which, you know, they skip over because we've heard a million speeches from the Doctor at this point. But like, they skip to the end. It's like, have you learned nothing here? Did he not explain the situation very well? You know, why? Like, surely he would have explained, you know, we just need to figure out a way of making them not homicidal. We just can. We don't need to resort to violence, and then they go and resort to violence.
Yeah, but then again, if you know, somebody says, you know, these things have killed your friends and family, this is why, and they will kill you if you do not listen to why and help me solve it. All somebody's going to hear is you know, well, all these people heard.
All they're going to hear is that first part.
These things killed your friends and family. Blah 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 blah. Cool, let's go get revenge.
Yeah, people. I hate people.
Same.
But I don't think the humans should have been able to go onto that colony. I think they should have just stayed on Earth and died.
Indeed, and I now believe Zabas did nothing wrong.
Only the weebs in the audience will get that.
Obscure references? Have you met me yet?
Yeah. But as for the rest of the episode, like the 35 minutes preceding that were really good, I think.
Oh yeah, they were, definitely.
And the emoji bots, which you know, everyone cringed at when they saw them in like the promotional materials. And I think, to be honest, I think it's mainly because I don't know, the word emoji just really annoys me. Like, to me, they're still smiley faces. So, like, hearing the word emoji, it's like hearing the word millennial. It just sounds like, I don't know. It just sounds like a bad term for something. I
don't have the same hatred for emojis that a lot of people do, but it does make sense in the context of the episode, in that they're a great way of you know, they're a great way of expressing an emotion and getting it through quickly, but you can't get the complexities of that emotion from just an emoji. Like they explained in the episode, there is no emoji for grief or revenge, or there are only the very, very basic emotions, and so that's the only thing that the robots understood. And so it makes sense that humanity would use these kind of things and not think of the consequences, because humans are nothing but short-sighted. That humans are nothing if not short-sighted, I meant to say.
Yeah, it's very much like with Inside Out, the Disney movie that came out. Oh God, that was nearly 2 years ago now. Blimey. But anyway, in that movie, if you're one of the few people who haven't seen it at this point, it's basically, you know, emotions inside somebody's head. Like, you can't just feel one emotion at a time. You know, you can't just feel joy or sadness or anger or disgust or nervousness. You can't all feel those, like, individually at once. Sometimes they'll team up. Sometimes you'll feel, you know, disgusted and sad, or nervous and angry about something, or, you know, happy about something but also kind of sad about something at the same time. You know, emotions are a lot more complex than just smiley face, sad face, angry face, skull and crossbones face.
And that makes sense in the context of the episode. And I will interject here with a tangent to say, if you have not seen Inside Out, why not go see it now? It was the best film of 2015. Go see it. It was great.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I saw that was when I started watching a lot of films in 2015. But yeah, off topic. And yeah, I think the reveal that, you know, the reason why they're killing people is it made sense. You know, like they're designed specifically to keep the population happy, and of course, if there's one person feeling sad, by their logic, it's going to be that's one sad person is going to start bringing people down.
And of course,
So-
it did. It's just they didn't realise that they were the cause of everybody. So they're the cause of everybody feeling down. And so
Because
they went all murder happy.
Yeah, and because they don't understand humans, they don't really know how to make a person happy anyway. So what's the next best solution? Just kill them.
Okay, but to be fair, I'm mostly human, and I don't understand how humans work. So
Yeah, no, but you understand more than one emotion. You've seen Inside Out. The Vardis haven't.
I've seen Inside Out about 300 times. I love that movie.
Yeah, but actually, speaking of the death stuff, the deaths in this were actually kind of like the 2 or 3 we got. They were actually kind of brutal.
I mean, it's Doctor Who. They do violent, unpleasant deaths quite well, but this one was rather, yeah.
Yeah, and it's something that I've been kind of shocked with this series. Like maybe it's because, over the last 5-6 years, not only is the death toll sort of lowered quite a lot, but also it's mainly just been people getting shot with ray guns and being disintegrated, rather than people just being picked apart by tiny robot birds. And there's a couple more gruesome deaths sort of later on in this series as well. And it's just sort of made me go, "Ooh, that's quite dark, isn't it?"
I mean, we all remember back in the day on RTD's run where you'd have people in the Cybermen episodes getting their heads sliced open and brains removed. But we don't really expect that kind of thing from the show anymore because it has reached such a wide audience, including younger viewers. We try not to make it too disturbing anymore, and then we get this kind of thing.
Well, I'd argue with the younger viewers thing, because we were young viewers when we started watching.
Oh yeah, this came out when we were about 10. Well,
not even that, like sort of 8 or 9.
Yeah, the show started when we were 8, 9. Well, yeah.
But it's I think it's sort of gone to the direction of we need to make this more kid-friendly by not killing people, which, yes, it's scary, but that's kind of the point of the show. Like, just you can scare kids on shows and movies, but you can't traumatize them.
I can say, have you seen anything by Don Bluth? Those films are terrifying.
Yeah, it's like there's a difference between Don, like a scary thing in a Disney movie where it's like what's a good example?
Judge Frollo doing anything in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, Frollo and Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like, you can scare them with that. You can scare them with that imagery, but what you can't do is do something like Alien, like having people, like aliens burst out of John Hurt's stomach. There's a difference between scaring them and traumatizing them. And Doctor Who is just scaring them. They're not traumatizing them.
Well, I mean, The Empty Child traumatized me, but that's
Don't call me
story.
out on this.
I'm calling myself out on this. Susie,
yeah, but it's
again off topic, but The Empty Child gave me nightmares for weeks. Damn, that episode.
Yeah.
We keep mentioning that.
I'll weigh in here and say I was about the only person who was traumatized by the Dalek-Sec hybrid.
Yes, you were.
I don't deal well with hybrids ever.
Yeah, last year was not a good.
No.
Last season was not good.
Just no more hybrids, please.
But then I was the only person not traumatized by the Weeping Angels. So
yeah, same. I've never found them scary.
No.
But I find the emoji bots scary though, or the smiley bots. I'm not going to say emoji because I don't like the word emoji.
I'm going to say emoji bots just to annoy you now.
But yeah, the fact that these things look so cute and innocent as well, and that sort of added to the scare factor because they're not. You can tell they're not specifically designed for killing, and this is just something. This is just sort of like a subroutine. It's not really a conscious thought of theirs, because they're a robot. But it's like they just don't really think about it. It's just something that they're doing. To us, it's horrifying, but to them, they wouldn't blink an eye at it.
Well, they don't have eyes, but I guess I get what you mean.
Well, they kind of have eyes.
I'm being facetious. I do that.
Yeah. And
I will briefly interject here to also say, in addition to that, just a brief aside, the episode was really, really beautifully shot. Like, I noticed the fantastic cinematography this time. Like, the image of the Doctor and Bill running across that courtyard reflected in the window with all those robots staring at them through the window. That was absolutely beautiful. That image has stayed with me.
Yeah, the whole colony area was beautiful.
Intentionally so, yes, but it's just it looked fantastic.
Oh yeah, like the direction was brilliant.
I mean, I know we discussed last week about Stephen Moffat apparently wanting a bigger budget, but if this episode's proven anything, it's that they can do some pretty good things on the budget they already have.
Yeah, exactly. And I did quite like the when they're in the garden or the greenhouse area, where they sort of stumble upon like the what they're using as the fertilizer. They open up the machine and boom, skulls. Like that was that was a really good reveal, I think.
Yeah. Although is it kind of weird that anybody thought like the emoji bots would be the good guys? Like they've got skulls on them. Are we the baddies?
Yeah, who's the guy who programmed them?
I had to make that reference. But yeah, and speaking of
the person who programmed this couldn't have been accidental.
And why did they program them with money signs as well at the end? Like, how do the emoji bots who have just had their memories wiped have a concept of money?
Yeah, why would robots need money? What?
Yeah, damn capitalism. Wait, this was written by Frank Cottrell Boyce, not RTD. What's a capitalist villain doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, just wait until
wait
for a couple weeks until we get to the capitalist villains.
Good old capitalist bashing.
Good old
communism. Going back to the Doctor and Bill, I think that Bill was sort of... it was sort of going back to what I was saying last week about Bill. She actually reacts to stuff in a very human way, like just like the scene where they're sort of in the dining area, and she's got the food, like the little Jello cube. She's just sort of like she is just asking legit questions here. It's like, okay, so in the future we don't need meat, or why have you got two portions, or why the hell have you got two hearts? They're not annoying questions like I was expecting from her when I saw that clip last year. No, these are all legitimate questions that she should be asking in this situation.
And like she also reacts well to other stuff really well, like when she finds out that horrible things happen on Earth, whereas a lot of other companions would be like,
Paul was amazing in that.
Oh yeah, a lot of other companions would be like, this is a thing that happens in the Earth's future, whereas she's properly horrified and she's like, wait, this is the future of my planet, this is the future of my people, humanity is everything I've ever known, and they're all going to die. Is this what happens? Is this our future? We're all going to just die, which is a pretty horrifying concept, which we tend to take for granted.
Yeah, especially when on a companion's first trip as well, because a lot of the time it's all fun and games. A lot of the time where it's like in previous companions we've had stuff like for Rose's first trip with the Doctor, she ended up visiting the end of the world,
which she regarded with kind of mild curiosity, but I suppose that made sense, as it was 5 billion years in the future and humans had already left.
Yeah, but she did, sort of have that shell shock moment where she realised, oh, my mum's dead. I'm long dead. Then you have, like, with Donna, her first actual trip in the TARDIS is Pompeii, of all places. And then you've got, with Amy, like, she gets on the Starship UK, and it turns out they're torturing this space whale to keep them moving. Rather unnecessarily, as it turns out, but it's still quite a horrifying thing.
And this one looked like it was kind of subverting it for a second, and you had this beautiful human colony, and then bam, skulls.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if I'm going to take another tangent here, the opening of the episode where like they go to the human colony and they show the robots killing everybody. Like, am I alone in thinking the episode would have been much more effective if they had not shown that? Just showing the Doctor and Bill coming to this colony and finding nobody there and all being mysterious until they find out, oh wait, these robots that we've been acting as cute and stuff, they killed everything. Oh dear, these robots are actually terrifying. Run. I just think the it may have been a bit whiplashy. It may have caused mood whiplash, but I think the sudden reveal and this is suddenly a lot more sinister than we thought would have been a lot more effective.
Yeah, I'm sort of 50-50 on that, because on the one hand, that would enhance the mystery a great deal, and it would be a massive shell shock. On the other hand, I kind of like the opening, mainly because of how brutal that death was.
We can have a flashback to it later, then.
If we can find some way of doing that without it being kind of forced, because of course it's just the Doctor.
Security recordings.
Tapes. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Security tapes. This is the advantage of going to the future. Everything is recorded. They're always watching you.
Big Brother is watching you, and it feels appropriate because you're always having to smile, and that was something I quite liked, because at this point in Doctor Who, we're quite used to being told by Stephen Moffat what not to do to get killed by the alien. Like, don't blink, don't breathe, don't think, don't turn around. It's like, what can I do? Just smile. Just put on a fake smile, even though they're going to kill you.
So wait, everything's going to kill you, and the only way to avoid, being targeted by everything is to just smile and ignore everything horrible going on around you? This sounds like real life.
Yeah, very political. It's the more we discuss this, it occurs to us like, yeah, this is much more political than it was on first glance.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think part of it is us reading too deeply into it, which, if you didn't realise we did this, hi, you must be new here.
I think it's also the fact that, we're not used to it doing political satire as much these days. Like, this was the stuff that the Pertwee era was based on.
Yeah. And even after that, the RTD era was often a lot more political than this.
Yeah, and I think this is the first one where it's actually kind of subtle.
Yeah. And I mean, sci-fi should be political, because if you're not examining humanity through the lens of the future, then why are you even writing sci-fi?
Yeah,
but a certain amount of subtlety and not smashing your audience over the head with a brick with political satire written on it, shouting, "Understand my satire! Understand my satire!" is
Ask me what it means! Ask me what it means!
That's a good point. Did M. Night Shyamalan write the Happiness Patrol? Because that genuinely would not surprise me.
Was there a big twist?
That the episode was rubbish? Does that count as a twist?
A twist! I mean, that sounds Shyamalan.
Okay, actually, it would not surprise me. Wait, wasn't that the twist of The Village, though? That the entire thing was just complete rubbish?
Yeah. What a twist.
Insert X-Files team here. I don't have it to hand.
Yeah, we don't have a soundboard here. We don't have that kind of budget here.
What do you think, we have money?
Why do you think we're doing this? Actually, we're not doing this for money.
No.
Why are we doing this?
Funsies.
Okay. Just keep smiling.
I'm not paying you, if that's what you're asking.
Trying very hard to smile here. One thing I kind of didn't like, very quickly going back on the Doctor and Bill, one thing I didn't like was, okay, so you got the scene where like Bill's in the TARDIS and she sort of has this epiphany of what the police box means, which is good. I liked that, where she notices like the police box is kind of a metaphor for what the Doctor does, because it's something that Stephen Moffat's been hyping up in the promos recently, where a quote he did during the 50th, where he said, when they made this particular hero, they didn't give him a gun, they gave him a screwdriver to fix things. They didn't give him an X-Wing fighter, they gave him a box where you could call for help. They didn't give him super strength or heat vision, they gave him an extra heart. That I like that, but what I didn't like and what kind of ruined it for me was when she met up with the Doctor later and she actually spelled it out for us.
Yeah, that was kind of hitting you on the head with the message, shouting, "Understand what it means, understand what it means."
And even the Doctor turns around and says, "Try and sentimentalize me. I can't speak."
No, and I mean, like, bashing us over the head with the message isn't necessarily always a bad thing. Like, the last 10 minutes of the Zygon inversion was basically the Doctor screaming the moral at us for about 10 minutes, and that was great. But you have to work it into the story.
Yeah, this is one of those really small but also really powerful moments. Like, it's a very much a show don't tell moment.
And then they told us anyway because subtlety is dead.
Yeah, subtlety is long gone. The funeral was never that good.
True.
They're just using subtlety's bones to fertilize the plants now.
Okay, now we're stretching the metaphor a bit.
I know. I was just referring to the episode.
Hold up, I can stretch the metaphor even further if it wants.
No, wait, you'll break it.
Oh, too late.
Oh, crap. So, sentimentality is truly dead, folks. As is humour.
Well, you're listening to this show. Obviously, you're not expecting the best, most highbrow humour in the world.
Is there any other points you want to make about the episode?
Peter and Pearl were fantastic as always.
Yeah. There was one really nice small moment where, well, I say nice, but it's when he's in the engine room and he's sort of working on this bit of machinery, and one of the robots sneaks up behind him, and there's just this shot of like the robot's face reflected in one of the gauges. And I thought to myself, that would make a great hit cliffhanger in like the Philip Hinchcliffe era.
It would.
Like, like Tom Baker just working on this machine, and then suddenly the monster creeps up behind him, and you can see the reflection. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I would be on the edge of my seat.
And the fact that he was passing the spanner, he thought it was Bill. Like, that would be great. Like, he's about to open a door, go around a corner, or he looks in the mirror and thinks, my companion's there. Surprise! It's the monster.
Yeah.
Close up on the Doctor's face, Doctor Who sting, the sting in the theme, play the theme.
You've got to
cliffhanger.
You've got to have the close up.
You've got to have the zoom up on the Doctor's shocked face.
Yeah. But yeah, that bit was great. And it was another sort of scary moment, which if they weren't so cute, it would be terrifying.
There was one possibly plot hole, or basically something they just didn't explain.
Go on.
Why did the kid wake up?
I kind of assumed he was the first one to wake up, because the pods all started waking up at that point, and I think he was just the first one that happened to wake up.
Yeah, but it was significantly before anybody else. Why? Whatever. It's a minor point in face of everything else.
I'm just going to go with the excuse I had a lot more energy as a kid than I do as an adult now.
That's fair.
Like back then, I could get up for 5. Now I'm very lucky to get up earlier than 10.
You say the person with a full-time job.
Yeah, I still struggle with that.
I'm a student. I'm lucky to get up before about 1 p.m. every day.
You're lucky to get up at all.
You're right. Actually, I do get up most days because I need to go shopping, because I actually need to buy my own food. Because my mother, selfish being that she is, won't drive all the way down here and cook me dinner for me anymore, which I think is just unreasonable.
That's rather inconsiderate.
I'm taking a lot of shots at my mother this episode, aren't I? I don't mean any of it.
I mean, it's easier than travelling all the way across the universe.
Yeah. If you're listening to me, Mother, I love you.
What's your excuse?
I love you. You're doing great. Please don't cut off my money. I swear I'm doing work as well as doing these shows.
I can confirm we are definitely not doing these shows that often. Anyway, any other points?
Today is Pearl Mackie's birthday, so happy birthday, Pearl Mackie.
Oh, happy birthday, Pearl.
Apart from that, no, I think we've discussed the episode.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a huge amount to talk about, aside from, just a few very big points.
Yeah. It was a good episode, though. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. And I can definitely see myself sort of rewatching this every now and again.
Yeah. I tend to work on shows in a marathon format, in that if I've seen a show before, I will marathon the entire show again at some point.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I can't binge watch for I can't binge watch for toffee, so usually I just end up watching like whatever story I could be bothered to when it comes to Doctor Who. Like I'll just pick one at random.
That's fair enough. Well,
Although,
add this one to the list.
Yeah, I mean, like the only exception to that is like if I'm watching Child of the Time Lord or something, because that's all like, one big story. But other than that, like any other story, like I can come back and watch this one whenever I like.
Yeah, and it's a highly recommended one.
Yeah. Who thought that emojis would actually be watchable?
Who thought that Frank Cottrell Boyce would write a watchable episode?
Maybe we should get him working on the Emoji Movie. Or we could let that die in a, or maybe we can let that die in a fire.
The only reason I'm vaguely interested in it is because A, Patrick Stewart's in it, and B, one of the emojis looks like Chloe Price from Life is Strange, and Chloe Price is my bae, so...
I'm just ashamed that you're interested in that movie at all.
Well, interest in the loosest possible meaning of the phrase. I agree with you there. Why does it exist? But as long as it does exist, there is stuff to look at. No, there's no hope for humanity. We have failed as a species.
How this all started.
We have failed.
Maybe that's how this all started.
We have failed as a species. Again, Zamas did nothing wrong.
Yeah, maybe this is how this all started. Maybe the Emoji Movies caused the complete collapse in society that we see in this episode, and that's why we have to move over to another planet.
In which
the emoji robots are actually slaves of the movie.
No way, that wouldn't work, because the Emoji Movie in itself isn't enough to completely destroy society. It has to have something else. As well. Oh wait, Trump is president. Yeah, we're doomed. The world is going to end.
He is going to give it a 5-star review, and that's how the apocalypse happens.
The world is coming to an end. Well, smoke 'em if you got 'em.
It's the end of the world.